Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. I made a recent video not too long ago. The title of the video is Hate Windows 10, Move to Linux. And I did a series of videos, and I'm still making videos about this. And what the video is about, if you have not seen it, is it's basically transitioning from Windows or even a Mac to using Linux, and specifically Linux Mint. And the whole point of the videos was basically to give people an option other than Windows 10. Like I said, you could also go from a Mac as well, but it's primarily for people who were not real happy or dissatisfied with how, Microsoft is handling Windows 10. Even though Windows 10 as an operating system itself, it's a really, really solid operating system. So that's why I made those videos, and then I'm continuing to make these type of videos. And that leads me to thinking about platforms, specifically the platform wars. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's look through a few of them. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be familiar with this very first one, Android. And after Android, we have iOS. Okay. Then we got Windows, of course. And then versus Mac versus Linux. And then, of course, we got the tried and true PlayStation 4 versus the Xbox One. And we can't forget the age-old cats versus dogs. Yeah, I'm going there. So, as you can tell, there's always been some type of quote-unquote platform wars. And if I have to go back to even the first real computer that I ever bought or that I ever had, was the Commodore 64. That was the very, very first computer that I had. And I did a video about that. As a matter of fact, the very first computer I had, if I remember correctly now, is actually the Commodore 128. My best friend had the Commodore 64. And at the time that the Commodore came out, there were other platforms as well. There was obviously the Apple platform, which basically Apple started the whole personal computer. There was also the Atari ST. There was also variants of like Windows machines at that time. There were so many, but the primary one during the Commodore age was a Commodore and Atari ST, as I remember, and also the Apple, okay, and obviously the IBM machines. But there were already platforms there as well. And then even before that, when I had my original Atari, we had the Atari, we had the Intellivision, the ColecoVision Intellivision. We also had the Philips Magnavox system, if I remember correctly. They had a system as well. And so it's always been like that, And then as you got into the 80s, you had Atari. Now they were actually dying off at that time, and now the new players were Nintendo, and then later on it became Nintendo versus Sega. And then when Sony came, it was Sony versus Nintendo and Sega. So as you can see where I'm going with all of this, platform wars have always been around, and they will continue to be around, and there's always going to be fanboys and fangirls even before the term became popular, and there's always going to be flame wars of some sort. So what I'm getting at is a lot of people, depending on what they mostly grew up with or what mostly they use on a daily basis, they're going to grow a lot of passion, I would say, for the platform that they're at. So I don't see it as a platform war. I see it more of a platform passion. So there's a lot of people who are really passionate about the platforms that they use. And I would say it's not so much about the technology. It's really about what the technology meant to them. Okay, so a lot of people get really nostalgic, especially after if you've been around technology a long time and you were, you're old enough to remember the beginnings of technology, you're definitely going to have a lot more emotional attachment because it meant something to you throughout those years. And so I understand the platform wars. I understand the fact that people really get passionate about it. What I don't understand sometimes is sometimes people get so passionate about it, and if there's anything that is against what they love and they're passionate about, they get really, really angry, to the point where, at some points, they'll actually get violent against people. So that I don't understand. I think that's taking it to another level. But with all of that being said, I think having these platforms, these different platforms, and having a lot of people who are really passionate about it, who really enjoy using it, and that's meant something to them in their lives, I really, really think that that is important. Okay, that's important because by having these types of emotional attachments, sometimes it'll motivate you to do something with it. In this case, you create a YouTube channel, or you'll get into a computing field or a technology field, or you'll create something new. And so there's many benefits to using your passions for your specific technology in a way that could benefit a lot of other people. So that's one thing that I believe about the platforms, that they can inspire people, ignite some type of fire for them to do something with their passions. So I really, really support that. And I think that's a great thing when that happens. And also in platforms as a whole, the way I feel about them, and there's no secret, if you've watched my channel, I really, really love Linux. I'm really passionate about open source, the open source community. And I really think that it's going to help a lot of people, okay? But that's the key thing. I really see all these technological platforms as a tool, as a means to help people improve their lives. That's my pretty much my thoughts on any of these platforms. So I am not specifically drawn to any. I don't have a lot of brand loyalty, if that's the word I can use. There's brands, there's platforms that I do like, such as Linux. However, I'm not so into it, so, really, I would say, obsessed with it at some points where I won't use anything else, okay? So as you're watching my channel and a lot of the videos that I do, I'd really talk about a lot of different things related to technology, among other things that I talk about, things that I like. But as you see, I have a lot of different things that I'm passionate about in terms of technology. But overall, my feelings on platforms are, they are a means, they are a tool that you can use to make things better. As cliche as that sounds, I think that's the best way to use these platforms and technology. And also, as I stated at the beginning, one of the amazing things about any of these platforms and technologies is it could inspire you, or it could, cause you to want to learn new things, and want to grow. And so that's always a good thing. And that is basically my quick thoughts on these platform wars, but in my opinion, they're platform passions. So with that being said, what are some of your platform passions? What are some of the things that maybe inspired you to do something with technology? Or if you want, what are some things that you do not like about the platform wars? So leave your comments and ideas below. And as always, I am on Snapchat at Geek Outdoors. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com. And I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.